Alright, hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today's episode of Take 10 is with Brett from UKVersus, my brother from another mother across the pond. How you doing today?
I'm doing quite well. How are you doing?
I'm tired. I streamed way too late last night and then regional action this morning as of recording, so I just want to say thanks for hopping on. I like to mix it up. I don't want to do all of NA players because I don't think that's fair to the community. My goal is to get an OCE player on at some point, but again, they're sleeping right now while we're up, so it's going to be kind of hard. So I have to figure it out. Have you had?
No, that's fine. I can hook you up with a few OCE players that I usually up around this time anyway.
Okay. Yeah, you are the connected one, as I've said, because you're the connected man. You know everything.
Apparently so.
Yes. You. In my opinion, you are the one to go to for insider news for either our game or for Riftbound now, because you are all over the place and expanding your brand, sir. So before we get into the cool Take 10 stuff? So what kind of sparked the idea of going into Riftbound? Is it just because it's a UVS games property, or is it just because it's new and you want to kind of get on the ground floor?
So I'm a big Arcane fan. I watched it with my partner when it dropped, and I know nothing about League of Legends, but I've got friends that do League of Legends.
Yeah.
So I was already looking into Riftbound. I was part of the Discord and stuff before the UVS news dropped. But I knew that it would kind of... For everyone who watches my content, they know that I kind of treat my content like a full-time job at the minute.
Yeah.
It was whether or not I wanted to cut down on my UniVersus content to make Riftbound.
Okay.
Because I've done all the research, and then UVS announced they're doing it. I was like, cool, I've kind of got a running start at this already.
Yeah.
I was able to get the content up there. I've met some amazing people from the Riftbound community. Willow's tabletop for the thing keeps getting better and better. And as you said, I'm the connected person. I'm the person that the Riftbound people are coming to asking for UVS news or being asked to be taught UniVersus.
Okay.
And the other way around, I've now got people asking me how to get into the Riftbound Discords or asking me about Riftbound. And yeah, I was already looking into it because I know League of Legends is a massive IP. I know this game was going to be huge as soon as it launched. I was already looking into it, but it was kind of just on the back burner.
Yeah.
But the moment UVS announced it, I was like, cool, full throttle.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I've kind of hopped in on the coattails. I did do a single video where I just watched the movie and was like, okay, that's neat. I don't know what any of this is. That's cool art. Hey, that guy looks cool. It's just basic stuff. But you've kind of gone to be fair, you are the man who just dives right into everything. Which is cool because that gives us another viewpoint, because a lot of us don't know what's going on because we're too focused on our game. So it's kind of nice to have someone kind of carrying both weights, even though that weight is heavy. So you are doing a lot of the heavy lifting for the community currently for that. So we appreciate you for doing that at least.
I'm getting some flack for it. I know there's a few people that just tell me they don't care about Riftbound. They're like,
yeah,
it's fine. I'm happy to take the blunt of it there. But there are some amazing Riftbound content like Max and Willow, and I know Cosmic, who used to do the MHA stuff, is covering Riftbound as well, which is really cool.
Okay.
So yeah, it's really good to be on that side. And yeah, it's one of the things that when UVS launched something, I did something about Castle Panic with the TMNT, with the role for it. I've got the Star Trek Star Realms.
Yeah.
It's why probably underneath my name it says corporate shill, because I kind of, if UVS launch something, I kind of cover it.
Well, yeah, I mean that's just kind of pushing, because if you help out or get word out of one part of their business, it helps UniVersus out, right? The money all funnels into the same bank account, I guess, right? It just goes right into their bank account. So it doesn't matter if it's from the TMNT game or Riftbound or whatnot. It's all going to get funneled back into the company, which actually helps us out even more, right?
Yeah, and it's the same with the Critical Role stuff. So as you said, I dived straight into that head first. I'm now starting campaign 3, and by going into that and getting myself involved in that community, I've been able to meet critters who were looking for information on the game or didn't know anything about the cards, or were asking about Chrome pull weights, or just being on TikTok and seeing all these amazing people that have started making content purely of them open Heroes of Exandria and be able to help them on their journey.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that by going head first into the IPs that intrigue me. I know nothing about Attack on Titan, and I tried to give it a go, but it just didn't gel. But Critical Role, I've gone in head first,
Hell
and
yeah.
as much as the Reddit admins hate me because I posted memes when you're not supposed to put memes, they have their own special Reddit for memes.
Okay, okay.
It's a great way of just being able to have the information that the critters are looking for when
Mm,
understanding the cards,
yeah.
and be able to provide the lore for the cards when the UniVersus players are asking for it.
Yeah, true. Because I remember right off the bat, like I know you, because I posted some stuff in there, and it got a mixed reception because some people didn't like that there was too many words on the cards and all that stuff, but it still got the word out, right? And then like not to toot our own horns, but our algorithms kind of exploded every time we did Critical Role stuff, which is pretty sick because that just shows you how passionate like they are about their IP, which is awesome, and. Yeah, it's crazy how many you got like random people just posting stuff in our Discord. Oh, look what I pulled, and it's just like, wow, I don't even know this area had a play group or had people who play. And then there's a couple people who are just straight up collectors that are just all over the buy sell trade Discord, which is nuts. I was just like, wow, And then I know I had a guy offer me way too much for stuff, and I go, dude, this stuff's not worth more than this, and then I'll take it for that. And like he was like, I have no idea what the stuff's worth, and I go, man, it's just. I hope someone has not taken advantage of you just because you're a Critical Role fan, because it just looks bad on us. So it's like you try to cut them a fair deal and all that, and it's just, which is fine. It's just, I mean, it's just like it's box toppers and stuff. Like that stuff is free for the most part. Like you can get it
Yeah,
from your local
exactly.
game store.
So yeah, during being on the Facebook, I came across a guy who bought 3 cases hunting down a chrome and pulled a grog in his first case.
Awesome. That's cool.
There was a guy who bought a box from one store, then traveled about 90 minutes and bought another box and pulled 2 Yasha chromes. Yeah,
I
from 2 boxes.
myself has opened so much product, and I did not pull the chrome. Hearing that, even though it's the same chrome, that makes me kind of angry, right? Like I kind of want to rage right now, for the lack of a better term. But man, that's nuts.
And there was one content creator that I've discovered is not too far away from me,
Okay.
who started doing TikToks, and I was telling them about what cards were worth stuff and what the pulls were and what they were
Sure.
looking for. And they reached out to me like, "Do you want to do a trade?" And I was in the exact same situation. They were like, "I have no idea how much it's anything for." So I talked them through. It was like, go to TCG Player or go to
Yeah.
Card Goblin, look at the prices, find out where you want a fair deal.
Hmm.
And then when we came to deal, I then sent them a Briarwoods promo, a Magical Assault promo, and a Collateral, and like
Oh, cool.
the promos from the Redemption, because
Hmm.
I had 5, so I sent one each.
Yeah.
And they put a TikTok out on it, just being like, I wasn't expecting all this extra stuff. And I was like, yeah, but you see, now you're more invested because you want more of those
You
cards.
want more of the shiny things, right? Like, um,
Exactly.
side note to the promos. Did you reorder the promos when the website updated on Monday? Did you order more of the promos at all, or did you just
Well,
forego them?
I had 5 because it was when I ordered it was a lifetime limit
Yep.
of 5, but
Hmm.
now it's a monthly limit of 5. So I already have 4.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was just giving some extras away.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Because like I sniped the challenger decks because I want to try to get the alt art Vexalia that I never got. Because I mean, to be fair, I only opened like maybe like 4 of them, so it wasn't like a real big like chunk. Like some people opened like 2 or 3 cases of those things and didn't pull anybody. So, but yeah, it's cool. But yeah, like
I mean, that's when they were back at Chrome Rarity, so it's very hard to get back at.
yeah, which is kind of weird. Is like, was it really a Chrome rarity? Because it seems like as they've like after Godzilla or at Godzilla on, it seemed like the alt art characters like became more. I don't know if more product was just being opened, because back then it didn't seem like as much was being opened back then. But now we see a lot, like the Dekus. You have like 8 Sungjin Woos. I think it's on record, and like what other ones? Yeah, like those were the bigger guys, like the Star Trek. Those guys even had 2 different types of alt arts, and those were pulled pretty prevalent too.
If you go back through the UVS like articles, I think they did
Mhm.
drop a challenger kind of pull rate, and the pull rate
Okay.
has increased
Okay.
since Trigun and Critical Role.
Thank
Uh,
you. Yes.
no, it's,
It's so good.
and it also lets me talk. Talking about the alt art Vexali, lets me
Yeah.
talk about Bad Moon, who I
Mm.
did an interview with quite recently, who did
Yeah.
all the art for the challengers.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that they were approached to do the art is because they're famous for their hyper realistic like art style on the drawings,
Okay.
which they had to kind of pull back for with the main challenges. But for the alt art characters, they went full ham to make them look as
If
realistic as possible, which is
possible.
why you've got that kind of defined jaw lines and skin
Mm-hmm.
tones and stuff. So those I want to try and get a hold of them myself now after hearing how much work and time
Yeah.
Bad Moon put in to get those alt arts perfect.
Yeah, and I think that's something that's cool that you've reached out to multiple, like, just to touch on your content creation before we get into the Take 10 thing, because the show's about you today, not about me. So I'm trying to, like, people may not. I don't know who in our community does not know you, but someone may not know who you are. So, but you have reached out to UVS Games, Critical Role artists. You make that effort to, like, really push your content up a level. Granted, sure, I give you flack for, like, hey man, you need to take a break sometime, dude. Like, you need to take, like, you are the heart. Like, I think it goes Tam, and then you, and then everybody else, because you guys, like, you both do the most work in our game, right? Like, Tam streams every night for the most part, and then you put out a video. I have started to follow suit, but I make mine. I do easy stuff where it's just like game views, game videos, but like you actually put legit content out. You've done artist interviews, you've done UVS interviews, you've done a crap ton. Burning the midnight oil, so I appreciate you and hats off to that. Like, I don't know, talk about like what's the drive behind that? Is that just like purely an algorithm thing, or is it just more of like a brand thing? Like, you just want to get your brand out there?
So I know it's a bit of a sore topic, but at the summit last
Oh
year,
yeah, yeah,
when we were talking with UVS and they were talking about it being a two-way street and developing trust, and they want people that they can establish relationships with, and kind of they showed us our content back to us, showed us our thumbnails and stuff back to us. I was kind of embarrassed to look at my thumbnails up there, and I
yeah.
was kind of I'm like being invited to something, being when we were just doing like one stream a week, actually being in that room
Mm,
with David and Tam and Ty and all the big content creators at the time
mm-hmm.
was just a huge boon. And I was like, okay, yeah, got my seat at the table.
Yeah,
Now I need to keep it.
correct.
And I was already considered about increasing my content, but I didn't want to do what everyone else is doing, because deck lists and stuff are fine. No flack to yourselves and
Oh
Tam
no,
and
man!
everyone.
It's I already say that's bottom row content. That's the easiest. If I want a video done, it's a deck list, and sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't. But go ahead, sorry.
But it's kind of the adrenaline rush of, like, I did the manga panels to card art that
Mm-hmm.
UVS loved and everyone else loved,
Yeah, that was
and it was
great.
hearing from UVS that IP holders and other companies actually go and look at
Mm-hmm.
our content, and they take away from it, and hearing like that our content is actually making a difference kind of made me feel responsible that, well, if I'm putting content out there, it needs to be informative, but it also kind of needs to be more entertaining.
Yeah.
And a lot of the content we get is very samey, so I don't want to do the same as everybody
No,
else.
I get you.
So I'm going to try something else using all the resources that we have access to. So with the artists stuff, it was something I hadn't considered until UVS put all 30 artists in a massive list for us. So I just went
Yeah.
click, 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 click,
Yep.
message absolutely everyone on there.
Yeah.
And the majority of people were just like, I didn't even know my art had been made into cards, which let me talk about the game with them.
Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, when you're talking, like, when you were bringing up like how everything's samey, but it kind of is. But I also I think, like, by me personally, I had done the hyper, like, content creator stuff before the MHA and all that. So I just kind of wanted, like, me personally wanted to take it easy. So I was doing the deck list, but I had brought this idea up back with Matt when we were on when I was on UA about the Take 10 thing, and then it I think that's really cool, and I think that's like my niche now. Like, that's I get to do this. This is mine. And then, like, if anyone else copies, I'm gonna copyright strike them and DCMA you. And yes, but no, I don't care. But it's like we each have our own niche. Like you do like Tam does the streaming stuff. I do a little bit of everything, and I do the reporting type stuff. And you have all the informative, mixed IPs, company focused informational stuff. And I think that's really cool to have in our game, because you don't want everyone to always just put out a deck list and then or put out games, or like it's we kind of still do that, but we each have our own lane that we kind of just go. And yeah,
Yeah.
we branch over every now and then, sure, but I think it's really cool that we actually have like our own things we can grab onto.
Well, it's something you've been saying for like the last 2 years, even before you were making content by yourself, when you were still working, making content, guesting for Matt and stuff.
Hmm.
Is a case of you want to make content you're passionate about because your passion comes across in there,
Correct.
and that's kind of what I do. I just kind of follow where my intrusive thoughts go. This is going to be
Hmm.
content, and now I'm making bake-off videos, and I'm making theory videos, and
Okay.
I'm just basically in my head goes, give it a try, see if it works. If it
Yeah.
doesn't work, drop it. If it works, keep it going.
Yeah. The Bake Off thing. I have like I haven't watched the one with Anna Margaret and Dan yet, but I started like the intro part and I haven't gotten to it yet. I haven't watched the whole thing because I kind of don't want to watch it because I want to be on it and I kind of want to be just be thrown to the wolves and just be like, what is going on? Like I don't want to know what's gonna hit me, right? Like I want to be surprised, so no spoilers, you know. So like,
No, no,
you know, but yeah, I think it's a cool idea. I really do. Like we don't have like a like Tam does UniVersus. That's really cool.
yeah.
Like we don't have like a game show esque type thing. Granted, it's for nothing bucks. You know, it's just for bragging rights and all that stuff.
No,
But
there's promos.
oh
There's
no, I'm
prizes.
saying for Tam's thing.
Oh, Tam, yeah.
I haven't watched yours. I haven't finished it, so I didn't know if there was prizes involved. So now
Oh,
I want to win. Um, but yeah, like I think it's super cool. Like I've thought of something like along the lines, but I can't do it logistically, and I'm just too lazy to do it. Like you know, because I'm an old man and I like to scream at the sky. So I just would let the young bucks take care of that stuff, and I'll just be in my lane here, just interviewing folks in the community. So, but yeah,
that's just as important as anything else. Making sure community voices get heard. It's just one of those things that, like you said, you've done it all before, so you kind
yeah.
of got the foundations of what your content's going to be,
Mhm.
and you kind of know where you want it to go. For myself, I mean, I did a year of just podcasting with Richard, then I've
Yeah.
done almost a year of exploring what kind of content I want to do, and I think I'm now starting to get into my kind of groove
Nice.
because I don't think anyone really. I would happily do deck lists and I'd happily
Yeah.
do gameplay, but I'm not. Despite going to Worlds 3 times in a row, I'm not a good enough player that anyone's going to listen to me about deck lists and
Sure,
gameplay.
sure. 3 for 3, baby. 3 for 3. That's all. Hey, man, you're one of the few. There's only a handful. There's only a handful. Um, so before we get into the take 10, I got one more question for you.
Love it.
If someone wants to get into content creation, like to start, what is your sage-like advice for that person?
Oh, if you're looking to get into content, the first thing I would say to do is if you're brand new to making content, if you've never made content before, don't do it alone. Find friends, find people you can riff off, find people that you can have fun with doing it,
Mm-hmm.
because doing it by yourself can lead to you becoming very analytics oriented, looking at your views, looking at your sub count. And if it goes well, yeah, that's great, that's a huge
Yeah.
boon. But if you're just making content that you're passionate about, that you're having fun with your friends about, and that you don't really care if it does well, if it does poorly, you just want to get your opinions out there and have fun with your friends, that is the best kind of content. Look at Response on Play.
I was just
They
gonna bring
are
them up.
what.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Response on Play, Loading Ready Run, who do Magic the Gathering content, who did a skit series called Friday Nights for absolutely ages. And they were just a group of friends that wrote skits around Magic the Gathering and had a lot of fun doing it.
Mhm.
And if I had even 2 more people in my area I could do that with, I would immediately be
Doing
copying
it.
the kind of stuff that they did.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of think like the final round guys would like they do the skits, you know, they do their when they do the reveals and stuff, they always do like a little thing, and it bums me out that I live like, you know, 16 hours away from them, so I can't get in on the bits, but you know,
We
I
can
like,
make our own Joffis.
yeah, I mean, I remember the old like was it back in the day, like the Joffices and stuff, like they did skits and like they try to keep it fun and friendly and stuff like that, and but like, you know, as a company doing that stuff, it's really hard for them just to like keep it. Well, we always know like UVS games, like their strong suit was never punctuality. They always like, you know, you know, granted
Yeah.
now things are more, you know, in like grease the wheels and everything's good, but at first it was like, well, we don't hear anything for like months or whatever, but we're not here to wax poetic about the company. So, but
Yeah, but if you look at like Brody's Critical Role and
yeah,
Attack on Titan reveals, where they've
yeah.
got the kind of skit and the 3D kind of
Oh
stuff,
my gosh,
that's some,
yeah, Continue.
Yeah,
Sorry.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's something I tried to do with my Attack on Titan reveal, where I kind of had to try do it with the end of a street like recording,
Mm-hmm.
and then me just going into it. And I've actually paid for the manga to do that, so I could use the actual Kodansha website.
Okay. Okay.
And apparently UVS doesn't reimburse for character
Yeah.
reveals.
Yeah. Yeah.
So having more fun with it is just the best way to start content.
Mm-hmm.
Just have fun, but ideally don't do it alone. If it wasn't for Richard, I wouldn't be making content. I was talking about making content for a while after the World's 2020, the World's in 2023,
Mm-hmm.
and he basically just encouraged me to do it and said he'd do it with me,
Mm.
and that's where I got the start from.
Cool. Yeah. It's always nice to have some. It's like would love to go back to the Guile treatment days where I have Rob with me and Barrett with me, where we're just three talking heads, just kind of riffing off of each other. Because I think that's people like that because it's entertaining, right? And you can have differentiating opinions, or you can all have the same opinion. But like I always said, even if we all had the same opinion, I would always tell them I'm always going to say the opposite, because I think it's good to never have all of the same opinion. Granted, like, oh, that character's broken. Of course, we're all going to say that. But, like, it's just nice to have a differentiating opinion. Then you have a conversation, and then the conversation becomes whatever it becomes. So,
Yeah. And you might even find you're saying stuff throughout expressing those opinions that you might even start to resonate with, or just by having that conversation, you can open up more ways. And it's something that we do as well. It's something that I've done with Richard. It's something we do with Cam. And even, we were talking in the content creator thing about tier lists, and I was saying that me and Cam are going to have a bit of an issue because we kind of have the same opinions. And
Yeah.
he's like, I'll take the opposite stance.
Yeah. But then
I turn it into a debate.
And then I said, I'm right here, man. I could be the third person. I could be the third wheel. Be like, sorry,
You
dude.
are welcome anytime.
I mean, like, sorry, man. Annie's the best character in the set. Oh, everyone else is crap. I'm sorry. That's all we have to say. But yeah. Anywho, let's get into what the people wanted to see, and we're gonna put Brett on the hot seat for take 10. So, as always, the icebreaker question has never changed, and it will never change. What was the last thing you ate today?
I have legitimately just finished a meatball bolognese with pasta that I had before this started.
Okay. Okay. You big pasta guy?
No, but my son is. He's autistic, so it's always beige foods all the time. So it's noodles, pasta.
Okay.
So
Okay.
basically, if we're gonna have a big chicken roast tomorrow, the agreement was that we have pasta today.
Okay, that's fair. I think that. You got any? I know Easter's tomorrow, but the real holiday is WrestleMania weekend. You gonna watch any of it?
I'm not a big wrestling fan.
And Drew McIntyre was your co-host for a year, man. Unacceptable. But anywho, question one. I'm pretty sure we talked about this in the pre-show just right now. But anywho, how did you get into UVS? What kept your interest in the game? And what kept you here? What got your interest in the game and what kept you here? Sorry, I don't know my own questions.
So, seeing as people can actually probably at this point start playing content creator bingo,
Yeah.
I got into this because at the time when they announced MHA1, I was playing another card game called Keyforge, and that had just had its incident where it kind of started to die out.
Okay.
And Wazzy, who from Wazzy Plays,
Oh yeah,
who does
yeah.
some reviews,
Mhm.
put a video up talking about UniVersus and the Universal Fighting System and how MHA was going to be coming into it. And I was like, that looks really cool. And I was like, I was a big MHA fan at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that they were getting Shigaraki, and it was called My Hero Academia, the collectible card game. So I immediately pre-ordered a box.
Yeah.
And then 2020 hit.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And I came close to cancelling my box
Okay.
and just getting into other stuff so many times, but I just left it there.
Yeah.
And then March 2022 rolls around.
Mm.
So like 2.5 years later,
Yeah.
I get my box, I start cracking packs, and I just fell in love with the game because I was looking at it, I was trying to watch because America had events from 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to watch events, couldn't follow it, and then I don't know if they're still around, but I watched the Jasco Learn to Play Mega Man versus Proto Man with the two models.
Yes, one of those models was actually one of the employees. Lily was an employee for she There's a long story behind that, but yeah, she was an employee as well. She was on the sales team. But yeah, and that
Yeah.
girl was her friend. But yeah, I know the video very well. I know the video.
So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
how I learned the basics of the game,
Okay,
because
okay.
because I was in my area and there was no one around me,
Mm.
and I didn't want to. I'm not. Believe it or not, I'm quite an
Oh,
introverted person.
yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
I don't really like. I have a limited amount of spoons, and I'm not great with making the first move in conversation. So, like,
Sure.
asking people to play webcam, when I see new players going, "Oh, can anyone teach me how to?" How are you doing that?
Yeah. Yeah, I get
And
it,
being a
yeah.
content creator has really helped me address that with
Sure.
just going,
Yeah.
"Fuck it, I'm just going to message 30 artists and see if they want to do an
Hell
interview."
yeah, that's what we're talking about.
But yeah, so I started learning how to play. I got my hold of an All Might 2 deck.
Okay.
I Crimson Rampage was rolling around, and I jumped into an online provisional that was happening. I was staying up to like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I just fell in love with learning the game. I've been playing about 3 weeks. I think I went 3-2,
Okay.
3-2, 4-3 before I dropped.
Yeah.
My last opponent being Alexander Alexia.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep. We know it. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, to which I got a message going, "Yeah, you're up against the former national champ." Like, thanks for that.
Yep. 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 It's Andrew.
But yeah,
Andrew Alexa.
oh,
But yeah,
Andrew
you're
Alexia,
good.
yeah.
But yeah, the man has much. That guy has so much cardboard. The Michigan old lore. Michigan was a huge hotspot. Them and Atlanta had all the champ cards, and then Rochester had some too. But whatever. So yeah. But go ahead.
But yeah, I jumped into all the webcam events I
Yeah.
could. My little boy had medical issues, so
Mhm.
there were times when I even got to playing like the Wednesday webcam stuff when they were going.
Okay.
But every so often I just had to drop after like a couple of rounds to go look after him.
Yeah.
But I'd be staying up late to kind of look after him. And going off the old law, technically I'm the first UK person to top an event since
Hell yeah.
since the rebrand,
Okay.
because I topped with Dabby.
Really? Before Mike? No way. Oh wow, that's crazy.
He didn't play many webcams.
Oh,
I
that's
think
true.
back in 2022.
He hates webcam. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so in 2022 there wasn't that many of us actually playing webcams.
Yeah.
Plus, it was like 4 o'clock in the morning our
Oh,
time.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So
Oh, hell yeah, man. That's awesome. So yeah.
it's old now.
So what? Oh, so the second part of the question was, what kept you here?
What kept me here is the thing I'm trying to kind of make into my new tagline, and something I keep saying quite a lot is UVS may have its problems, but it will never be a terrible game to play as long as the community's still here.
Correct.
That is what has kept me around. That is where I kind of started with my content, and like the stuff was fighting for the international community, fighting for the community as a whole. And it's the community that kind of keeps me around, because yeah, this is the nicest gaming community I've ever been a part of. And even when people are having a go at you, it's coming from a place of love.
Yeah.
Because they love this game so much. It's great to see, and you can feel the passion that every old head and every new player is developing for this game.
Yeah, it's kind of like Olive Garden when you're here, your family, you know. So like people treat each other as family for the most part, you know. Granted, you know, we all have our spats and all that. So, but
Yeah, just like a family.
Yep, it's like a family. So moving on to question 2, what is your favorite symbol in the game?
Chaos.
That's not a surprise. I mean, that was an easy softball. That one, people knew that one was coming from a long time. So,
it's my favorite symbol in the game because, you know, it's a control symbol that can be very aggressive, but it's not the symbol I've been playing the most of recently.
Okay.
That's more like I've been playing a bit more Void Order, but Chaos was very strong for a very long time.
Still is.
And
yep.
yeah, it still is. But like I've been playing Mitchell Samino. I haven't touched him on Chaos yet because I can recognize that although Chaos is my favorite symbol, there are sometimes better options.
Yeah, I have recently have become an Order Mitch convert. You know, like I just think having Hacker is like the biggest thing. Is having a every turn outlet with multiple momentum outs is just the best way to go. Is having that with VME.
Hackers,
and that.
I absolutely love Hacker, and I've been using Inventor's Creation.
Okay, cool.
Because you get to play it, and then on block I can get rid of a Swarm by Titans or a Vile Seasons Give It Breaker. But when I play it, I can copy Walk the Dog or Mighty Blitz and just get all that powerful.
Hell
and just
yeah.
go,
We love that. We love that. All right. So we know what chaos is. No, so now I want to put in. We'll see if this. This is the question that I dread to ask because everyone has had the same answer. What Marvel or DC and why?
So when I think about this, it's not about Marvel or DC with my answer.
Okay.
Because they're very similar. They've got a lot of crossover. For me, it purely comes down to nostalgia.
Okay.
And it would be DC for Batman the Animated Series.
Oh, hell.
Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy.
Finally, someone said DC first. Yes. Okay, cool. Yeah, I
have
with my
a signed
team with
Batman
my Teen Titans
pop by
tattoos.
Kevin Conroy.
Oh, cool. Awesome. That's sick. Rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. But that's awesome. Yeah, like Batman the Animated Series was a huge part of my upbringing, and just Batman in general was because my stepdad was huge into Batman, and so and I gravitated toward the Robins obviously because I was a younger kid and the Robins were cool and the Nightwing just became cooler in Batman. So, but
yeah, makes a lot of sense. I mean,
yeah.
Marvel has done a lot better in its live action stuff recently than DC,
Yeah.
but in the heyday of our childhood, DC was the one that was in control.
Correct.
The Superman movies, the Batman movies, everything was just on point, and then the animated series has never really dropped the ball significantly.
Yeah,
so it's one that no matter how bad the DC live action stuff's going on, I will always be drawn in to watch the animated stuff.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like Marvel's kind of caught up with that a little bit because all their stuff on Disney Plus, like What If and stuff. But I think it's just there's something about sitting and watching some Batman, Batman animated series or Brave and the Bold. Like everything has been on point. Like even the DC animated movies, like the Flashpoints and all that stuff has been their animated series universe has been really good too. And it's more geared towards more adults than it is more kids, but it's whatever, But yeah, it's just
that reminds me. I need to finish the new one that came out on Prime last year with the new Batman with like the Harley Quinn stuff that.
Oh, I think I don't know what that's called. Oh, yeah, it's I know what you're talking about. Oh, yeah, I watched it all. It's really good. It's like a noir 1940s-esque type thing. It's super good.
Yeah, and you've got Harley Quinn that isn't actually all about Joker.
Correct.
She's got all the people in the basement. For spoilers.
Yeah,
but no, I saw a clip of that Harley Quinn scene. I was like, I'm in.
It's super good.
And you've got Batman versus the Yakuza. You've got Batman versus TMNT. Absolutely love Batman.
Oh, that thing slapped. That thing was awesome. I read the comic. I had the comic book series of that when it was coming out, and those issues because we're gonna get Turtles in our game, and we kind of have Batman because we have Joker and Harley Quinn. We could get that sometime, and then that would super slap because I would love to play Batman in our game. I think that's the number one.
I only have one comic series that I've purchased, and I purchased them all together because I got them quite cheap.
Okay,
and that is Batman meets the Mask.
Oh yeah,
the Joker gets the mask.
Yep. All right. Favorite? I think I may know this question. I may know the answer given we have our previous conversation before the show started. Favorite IP in the game?
So I need clarification on this.
Sure.
Favorite IP in the game?
Yep.
Or favorite game IP?
Favorite. Let's just stick with the question. Favorite IP in the game. So the favorite.
Go ahead. If it was the favorite, if it was the favorite IP the game has, for me it's still My Hero Academia. It brought me in. It holds the most weight, and it's still producing more powerful cards. Favorite IP that the game represents.
Yeah.
Up until a month ago would have been solo leveling, but it's Critical Role.
Okay, sure, yeah. I think, as a Critical Role fan, and as you yourself, because you screamed through all of it in a record time, which is insane. I think those people who are going to the summit in Albuquerque need to ask for Mount Wildlings promos because that may be the best Critical Role production of all time. It's only a 3-episode one-shot for the most part, and it is gold. It is so good. Sam is great as a DM. Brennan is amazing. Alex Lee, I didn't know who that was. I knew you were saying that name, and I heard him. I'm like, holy shit, they have Jin Woo on the show?
Yeah.
and he's a rogue, which is even cooler because he has the assassin skill tree, which is fucking awesome. And I was just like, I popped off. I was like, dude, that's Jin Woo. How are they doing that? That's crazy.
I don't know when this is coming out or if it's going to
It
still fall with all season.
it will come
Oh,
out this Monday on the
no,
21st. Yeah.
you've not seen episode 3
I
yet,
have
have you?
not seen episode 3 yet. I have not
Yeah,
watched
yeah,
it.
I won't get into it, but
Yeah.
there's a moment in episode 3 where I'm just like, oh, that's cool.
Okay.
But we can
Okay.
talk about that another time. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, the Kai's double mustache stuff is
Oh
absolutely
yeah. Oh
hilarious.
yeah.
I would absolutely kill for any of this kind of one-shot stuff. One of the critical like catalogers who basically has a calendar of all the critical stuff that's coming out is putting together a playlist of the one-shots I've missed,
Okay.
so I can try and like get on stuff
Catch
because
up.
there's Search for Grog, there's
Yeah.
Vox Machina versus Mighty Nine stuff. I've kind of blitzed through the campaigns,
Mm-hmm.
but I've missed a lot of the one-shot stuff, and I'm currently in campaign 3, and yeah. Fresh Cut Grass is a
Yep.
beast.
Yes, he is. Yes. Oh, sorry. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They are. They are. They're probably they're the heart and soul of Bell's Hells for a long time, right? And it's crazy the weight that character carried through the entire campaign. Because I watched it from start to finish. So, and that character has a lot of weight all the way through to the end, and it's great. So, yeah.
Knowing what I know, when Matt broke the Fresh Cut Grass mini at the beginning of the campaign, my heart sank. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, yeah, yep. That was very weird that kind of foreshadowed something. It's not really a spoiler because it's been like 2 years since it's happened, but yeah. Cool. All right, question 5. This one kind of tripped up some people. What is your favorite mechanic and why? It can be something that's coming. So if you know of any spicy mechanics that you know that you may have with your backdoor connections and your under the table dealings, yeah, let us know. And because we want to know all the new cards before they come out. But yeah, what's your favorite mechanic and why?
Reversal. Because anything that allows me to apply pressure to my opponent during their turn
Okay.
allows for better interactions and more interesting interactions. Because up until the website changed, on the whole UniVersus thing was simple mechanics, interesting interactions.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's changed with the rebrand is we don't get to have as much interaction in our opponent's turn outside of a few check hacking abilities.
Yeah.
Reversal kind of changes that and applies pressure and makes your opponent more concerned about what they're doing in their turn. And I know that's a mental load nightmare.
Yeah.
But if impact drive we get in Street Fighter is a fixed reversal similar to Echo and Multiple, I'm all in for that.
Okay.
So reversal for now, maybe impact drive if you get
drive
it.
later. Like as an old head, reversal is one of two things, right? Well, it does a few things, but the number one thing is it punishes lazy pokes. So like if someone just wants to test the water, you block, reverse them, and then you stun their board out or whatever, and then they're like, well, I can't do anything, so I have to build pass, right? Really, reversals come down to two things: turn stoppers, and basically, if the reversal doesn't stop their turn or kill them, it's not worth playing. So back in the day, I should say, like I played with Navos, I played with other things and all, Fog Blanket and all that. So shout outs to Taki. But like I've played some where it's like Robert had a reversal where it was like a 4-4. If opponents played an attack, I get to draw a card, so it replaces itself. Awesome. And it gave my next block breaker 1. So really, I had to have 3 cards deep to use that card. So I had to use it very sparingly. Granted, attacking was different back then. It wasn't so high powered. The offenses were so high powered. So I'm really interested to see if Drive Impact is a reversal type mechanic. Is it worth it? Because if it's not worth it, it's not going to be done, right? And sure, the Chun-Li card is basically calorie counter. So if your rival after a block, you get to calorie counter it for the most part. So it does help you attack offensively, but if you want it to be used like a defensive purpose card, you kind of want to like stun on it, or you want to put like a lot of damage on it to make them block it, to make them like slow their turn down. So I think we have to see the cards, right, and then see how they play. So
from what you're saying, it sounds like it's kind of like a backup asset situation. The cards need to be powerful enough to warrant a spot in the deck.
Correct.
For me, my first time playing a pure reversal deck was at Nottingham last year,
Okay.
and I got the wide-eyed response to my opponent when they launched the first attack, and I went, first enhance, Dabby, my next attack is +3. And they go,
okay.
oh no!
Hell yeah, let's go. Yeah. Then you're like, cool. This has throw, and you have like 1,000,000 damage on it, if you want to, right? Like that's
Yeah,
just
it's also
yeah.
skull barrier.
Yeah.
The 0/3 you don't want to block. But,
Yeah.
oh, it's a 0/6. Let's go.
Yeah, that's pretty spicy. And it has a defensive mechanic on it too, so that's even better, right? So,
Yeah, it's one thing that I was determined to try and blow up someone's foundations in their own turn, but no one took the.
no one took the bait. That's sad. I think I would have played into it at least once. I would have done it for you.
If it wasn't killing them, they didn't care.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So this one has begun. This is the question I know that when I talk to UVS Games for Take 10s, which I'm in process of trying to get them to do that. This is the question that I'll have to change. Question 6. Do you think the monthly ban and errata list is doing its job?
Long answer, maybe. Short answer, yes.
Okay.
So monthly bans and errata are absolutely fine. I just wish we got a bit more information as to kind of why there are no bans, or like the articles that we get saying that, oh, this is why this was banned, this is why this is banned. But I think the main issue where that the bans and erratas aren't doing the job in is that there's no required deck lists outside of regionals. So it's outside of internal testing, outside of what we're reporting as issues. It can lead to situations where cards like Combined Firepower just get to keep going until they show up at like every single deck in the regionals, because we're not getting that data. And I know it's a pain for local stars and it's a pain for TOs and stuff to have everyone submit a deck, but it would really highlight issue combos and issue situations before they actually hit the regional scene.
Correct. I think the first step in that is actually getting the UGN deck builder to actually be serviceable, right? Like that thing, it's clunky. It's fine. It's fine for what they want it to do, but it's very clunky on mobile at least. I know on like on laptop or desktop, it's fine. But like it needs like UVS Ultra is. I guess all of us are old curmudgeons who have been using UVS Ultra since the beginning of time when we don't want to change. But if we could have an export button from Ultra into that, chef's kiss.
That was literally what I was about to say. I don't know if it's like a licensing issue or like giving them deemed like legitimacy. But if you just had a UniVersus.cards or a Untap or a UVS Ultra importer, and you built your deck, import it over, boom, done. That would make it so much easier for everyone to kind of do it, because nobody wants to be forced to use a single deck builder. And I know UVS have done a lot to get it in there, but like you said, some people are set in their ways. They want to go to UVS, and when it also makes it a bit easier for sharing if you can just go to UVS.
Yeah, like I've seen a buddy of mine, a local, uses UniVersus.cards, which is cool because I've never really used the site, but I like that it has like import to UVS. It has like an importer, like it has like 4 or 5 different types of importers from that website. So if you want to translate it over, that's super sick. If that's a fan run site, right? Obviously, it's a fan run site by Connor, right?
The Dobbers.
The Dobbers.
The Dobbers in general.
The Dobbers in general, okay. Like, if they can do that, why can't UVS Games do that, right? Like,
if you want the Dobbers to look at a deck list, it has to be on UniVersus.cards. And Matt does a lot of work, and if you go to the website for UniVersus.cards, well, it has a life tracker that you can change the background of to match your character.
Oh, that's super sick. That's cool. That's awesome. I didn't know that. That's very cool. That's awesome.
During the regionals last year, where UVS were unfortunately able to get out, I'm sure the Dobbers are still editing the footage from that, but they were able to directly hook up the UniVersus.cards life tracker to life bars on the stream.
That's wild.
So when your life went down on the app, it went down on the stream.
Oh, that's super cool. Okay, so so we're already on next gen technology. Why aren't we doing this for our, like, why aren't UVS Games doing this. Like, if they can do it, why can't UVS Games do it, right?
Oh, 100%.
I know Brian, our tech guy he is always maxed out. He's running at 300%. So I don't want to put more on his plate,
No.
but man, someone else could help him out and do that, right? Like, that'd be super
Yeah.
sick because we're always wondering, is life totals correct, right? And if they don't have that giant iPad showing the health and stuff, we don't know what's going on half the time, and it just makes it a lot easier for everyone, either for the commentators, the players themselves, and the people watching at home who are like, well, what's going on right now, right? We like makes sense.
Yeah, I think in the game I was on stream against Adam, it's part of the footage I uploaded because they gave me my round so I could do it myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't be sure because, like I said, it was almost a year ago.
Oh wow. Okay.
The dubbers have all got full-time jobs and they're still making content, so they're going to be a little bit slower getting the gameplay and stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
They're not basically treating it like a full-time job like me.
Yep. All right. Number 7. If you could have one IP brought into the game, what would it be?
There's so many.
I know, but you can only choose one, man. Sorry, dude.
There'd be so many that would actually work. But if I had to choose one that I think would work with the game the way it is now, Alice in Borderlands.
Oh, are we talking the Netflix show or the manga / comic book?
Well, they're the same thing.
I mean, the art's different. You have live action people. You have actual actors against the, like, do you want the Netflix show or do we want the comic?
I would
manga
say
panels?
adapting the manga because the manga is going to be a lot more brutal and uncensored.
Sure.
But you can always have promos of the live action and stuff.
Yeah, okay.
I've only seen the live action, but I know my partner Robin has seen the anime and has read the manga.
There's an anime to this? There's an anime to it?
There's a
I'm gonna
watch. Alice in Borderlands anime on top of it.
Okay.
And the new season that comes out later this year is going beyond both the manga and the anime.
Okay.
It's a whole new kind of stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, I think just the fact that they have their cards already kind of in there, and like how aspect would be really cool for them to translate and be able to have the character cards, like having that player card aspect to them, as well as it would give Hitch and the creative team such a way to go. Like having the Queen of Hearts character card looking like the Queen of Hearts with actual stuff would be amazing, and you could have assets and foundations and backups with the like 10 of Hearts and having this theme to the deck behind what the house your suits actually do, as well as kind of like implementing the games and the way that people attack and the betrayals into it. I think Alice in Borderlands would be a great way to go. Along the same lines of like Squid Game would be a good one to put in, but it wouldn't translate anywhere near as well as Alice in Borderlands.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, like that's an interesting one. I didn't expect that. That's an interesting one. I like it. Wow, this man's done his homework. We like this.
It's what I've been keeping it to my chest. Like I'll be in there going, oh yeah, we need Invincible or we need a soul leveling stat or so. I was like, no. Alice in Borderlands one I keep some stuff to the chest in case
like, this is kind of funny. Like Brett on one hand's like, let's have nice cartoon stuff, and on the other hand, he's like, just murder people. So
yeah.
All right.
Mr. Tibble's here.
So question 8. You get your choice of 2 players, can be current or retired, to pick for a team's event for cardboard. Who are they, and why?
I forgot what the other one's name is. Garrett Brett, and I know there's another Brett that's topped recently, and we can just have the Brett team.
Oh, okay. We like it.
Because one of my favorite jokes is I'm not the most famous Brett in the game, and it's not even their first name.
Correct. Yep. That's correct. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So do you think? Okay. So I asked Brody on the last episode about the teams event. So I'm going to ask you too as question 8B. Do you think teams should have a cardboard event?
Honestly, I think all the cardboard events should come back. I think Retro should get its own. World Retro should have a cardboard. We should even look at putting spotlight and stuff into there, because getting your face on a character, yes, is the ultimate prize. But being shown that you understand the game well enough to win at Retro at Worlds, shown that you can coordinate well enough with other people to build decks around teams.
Hmm.
All of them are still aspects of the game that deserve to have the same level of prizing, just not to the same hype level. So
Correct.
having assets and actions, and even if you just put on them like retro only or spotlight to this specific thing, and I know it's becoming a nightmare because with future proofing,
Yeah.
but just being able to have it, and I imagine once we get to the point where we're not having a Rochester Worlds Festival, we're having a UniVersus Worlds Festival.
Festival.
We may
Yeah.
get there, and with the announcement that UK Games Expo are going to have sealed retro and teams events
That is
supported by UVS,
That's wild.
it really is. I'm hoping that we can get back to that point, but I would
Mhm.
absolutely love to see actions, assets, backups, foundations that have got more people's faces on them for
Yeah.
more achievements.
I totally agree with you on that. As like I said, I was an old head. I remember back in the days hunting down actions, hunting down foundations, assets. Like I like people held. I know winning yourself, like Mike's done it a few times, Kevin's done it multiple times. But like Garrett's done it like 8 times. I don't know how many he has. I think he has like 12. I don't know. But winning, like people hold teams like on a higher regard as like the best format because it's still a 1v1 at its core, right? But like you get to do it with your closest friends, and you get to like you don't have to play meta decks. Like there were teams who piloted like one meta deck and two off the wall decks that were just good into like the meta decks, and people weren't playing those because they were like, oh, the meta decks are better. But no, like these decks just trashed them. And then like you have the cool storylines like Ben Shoemaker where you go 0-5 in finals and your buddies all carry you, right? And it's just like you just walk away and your buddies are gonna win, right? It's wild. Like hearing
Yeah.
when Church, Alex Marco, and Rodney won, and hearing over the stream Rodney yelling, I'm immortal." And that feeling is it's unbelievable, right? Like that, it's got to be crazy. Like I've never won a character card
Yeah.
or anything, but it's nuts. It has to be so elite, like so like weightlifting, and just like you made your stamp on the game, right? Like that.
Yeah, and not to the Nick and Mitchell cards look amazing,
Hmm.
but going back to the Ben Schumacher situation where he went 0-5 and was carried by, that's reflected in the art of the card, I believe, where he's just being carried
Yeah. Yep.
in a
Yep.
card,
Yep.
and you get to have that kind of fun action that can sort of immortalize not only yourselves but the
Correct.
event.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Yeah.
absolutely great.
Yeah, that's Drew Maffei, Lion Buddy. He goes, "All right, guys, I got this." That's what the flavor text says, and that's exactly what it is. He got it. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. Oh man, I love teams. Teams is so much fun. I really, I think the logistics issue is, do we want our Worlds Festival to be a week long? I say yes, but I don't think people would agree in that sentiment because of time, family, PTO, whatever. But like,
Yeah.
I think that's why we need to bring nationals back, and we have a nationals festival in the middle of the year, and then we have worlds at the end of the year, and then that's what you do, and you just make nationals open, and then you just make worlds do the 50-point thing, whatever, and then you just have all your cool events. You have your national teams, and you have maybe you just do national teams and retro at one, and spotlight and sealed or singles at another one, right? Like you just split them up so you can make it, and I don't know how they do it. I'm not paid to know how to do it. I don't have to think how to do it. I'm just going to say it. So, because that's what I do. I just say things.
That makes a lot of sense, and it's one of the things that the game was a lot smaller back then. Because I think retro happened on a Friday, then you had the main event on the Saturday, and then you had teams on the Sunday kind of thing. It was all done day.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you were top cut, it was like, okay, I can't take part in teams, but I'm for the cardboard at nationals anyway.
Yeah.
It's one of the things they could be doing on the Sunday of Worlds. Like when we
Correct.
already had retro, we could have just basically gone, yeah, you're gonna get yourself on a action for winning retro. It's only gonna be playable in retro, and we'll get you started out with that. But hopefully, it's something we can kind of build towards.
Correct. Because back in the day, everything was teams on Friday, singles on Saturday, all top cuts were on Sunday. So you would have people playing in their teams event waiting to play their singles match, or their singles match would be waiting to play in their teams event, and they would just frog hop each other and just bounce back and forth. Like people do that already with like the side events where people are playing in the main event, they'll go sign up for a side event, playing a side event fast enough. They'll just play a fast deck, and they go run do their other. But it already happened, so why not? Just take our money, man. That's what that's all it comes down to, right?
So at last year's Nationals, I did get a confirmation from Michael Murray, the head judge of the EU, that I could dual queue. I could be in a side event and top cuts at the same time, as long as I could play both games reasonably quick.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hold him to that at some point.
Hell yeah. Let's go, baby. Let's go. All right. So, question 9. I think you've kind of prefaced this already. What's your current favorite deck right now?
So my current favorite deck that I'm playing is Mitchell Cimino on order. I just love a good character that gets to do unfair things, but in a fair way.
Sure.
You can answer Mitchell Cimino, you can kind of shut him down, but he still gets to abuse the mechanics of the game. He gets to generate momentum, he gets to recycle that momentum, and he gets to use it very well. It's not the most broken character out there. There are games where I've not just been able to do anything.
Correct.
But he's a lot of fun to play, and plus, when I get to drop a Mighty Blitz and go, I'll powerful 5 X amount of times, they go, powerful what now? It's like, yes.
Hell yeah, we love that. Yeah. Yeah, like, we've kind of talked about this earlier. I've, out of the 2 champ cards, no shade to Nick, my teammate. I just gravitated towards Mitch more because I'm not a big 5-hander guy. And the way his play pattern just seems more natural to me, and like you get to use that momentum as like the old Hiei back in the day, where your momentum is your second hand, and you could build your hand for the next turn, which is wild to me. Which is just thinking like, it's crazy how cool that character. I shouldn't say cool. Like, it's unfair at times where like, okay, you attack into me, I have 5 attacks in my momentum. You have to kill me. But if, as you're trying to kill me, I'm defending and building my hand for next turn to kill you. So it's just, yes, he does get hard countered by Hacker, technically, because you flip his VMEs. He doesn't have defense for the most part. He still has -2 speed, but on his face if you commit. But it's really kind of hard because you don't want to commit all foundations, and, it's tough. Yeah. But he's still really good, even without VME. He's kind of broken with VME.
To go back to what you were saying, that with Nick, it's a case of if you hit the right things in the right order, you're killing any character.
Correct.
So he's doing unfair things in a very fun way, but if you don't hit them, you're having a bit of unfun, a bit of a nod to his old team.
Yeah, yep.
Whereas Mitchell is just basically going, here's a core mechanic of the game. Here is something that everyone wants to do, generate momentum and use momentum, and I'm going to allow you to that and also reward you for doing that on face.
Hell yeah.
Now, how complicated can you make this, and how well can you use it? And it's kind of going back to like the mimic things at Nationals and stuff like that. You're not the most unfair deck in the room, but you are doing unfair things in the fairest way possible.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, and he's also like the easiest Koema's task character. So that's something else you get to do, is you get to play 4x Koema's task with a straight face, and you just tell your opponent, it's gonna happen one time. I'm gonna nuke 80 of your attacks, and I'm gonna have all the best cards in my hand, right? It's some of the granted, it should have all those old cards been reprinted, whatever. That's an answer for another day. But playing Koema's task in a character that like that, it is so crazy. Like, it's wild.
Oh, I've done it once. I was up against a Rodan, and I immediately Koema's task combined firepower, and I went, oh. Like, yes, let's go.
Yeah, you ain't killing nobody, man. You ain't killing nobody without that. Yeah.
Oh, it was absolutely great. But yeah, it's one of those things that when I was looking at, I was like, oh, if only we had more.
Oh, no, we don't need Mob Strike. No. No, that can stay dead. That one can stay dead. That one's fine. That one's fine dead. We don't want that. All right.
It's one of those things that also, if we keep getting more blitzes than enhances, unfortunately, Nick will just continue to get weaker.
Correct.
Apart from keyword abilities.
Yeah.
Whereas, what they're going to do, not print momentum abilities? Mitchell has got 3 years of purely getting better.
Yeah, that's facts. Yeah, because, like that's like you said, it's a core mechanic of the game, and I think that's something. I don't know. I know. Nick is very happy with this character. He's very happy the way it turned out. I would definitely, like, I guess at the time they didn't know blitzes were gonna happen. I guess.
No.
Right?
So when I spoke to Nick and Mitchell, basically they weren't told anything that was coming. So with like Mitchell's character, he thought he was being a bit cheeky, going, "Can I be a 30 health character?" Yeah, sure.
Yeah, they
Because
were like,
in Attack on Titan,
yeah,
they get
yeah,
these big guys.
yep,
And with Nick, it was a case of they didn't let him know at all Blitz or anything like that was coming, so he was
yeah.
just like,
That's
"Yeah,
true.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
copy enhancers." Like, yeah, sure. And it kind of like a Kwai Chi Toga 4 situation. It's
oh
like, yeah,
yeah,
you're gonna be powerful for a little bit, but once these new
yeah.
rules come in, you're gonna be a little bit
You're-
trouble.
yeah, and that's okay. I think that's fine because you don't want. I know, like in the old days, Jason always said he doesn't want champ cards winning champ cards, but the issue is no one wants a weak ass champ card, right? Like I think Mitch is probably the power level you want to go, right? Like you can't help it that I think they probably regret probably not putting down once per turn on his momentum rebuy, right? Like or twice per turn. But like for the most part, he's pretty good. He's solid. Like he's not overpowered. But like either is Nick in a way too, because if he hits the true 100, you're dead. But otherwise, it's just like cool. I'm putting draw 2 onto this, or I'm drawing hate fish onto it, or whatever. Whatever. But it's kind of weird. There's like because nobody wants. Sorry, Mike. No one wants a Mike Hardiman 1. You know, everybody wants to be like Garrett Brett 1, where you get banned, right? Like everyone wants you want to hit that middle, upper to middle ground of that because you want people to want to play your card, and you want to play your card. That's the whole point of making your card is you want to play it. So you want it to be good, and you want to enjoy it, right? Like it's just
you can't advertise something as being the best prizing in gaming
Yeah.
and then release a subpar product kind of thing.
correct. Yeah,
But yeah,
correct.
go back to like the Nick stuff. If he gets 200%, but I was watching Ace Arena through David's stream,
Okay.
and TC had a hell of a Nick Reagan deck where he was playing Warp Gate Portal and Sniping Spy. So he just and it was beautiful to
that's
see
sick.
that thing pop off.
Yeah.
And I was so sure he had that game, and I was like, it was like you have it in the greediest Nick Reagan list.
Oh
in the
yeah.
world.
I mean,
But yeah,
1s and 2s don't exist if
beautiful.
you don't let them. So
Exactly. It's one of those things that with Nick, the greedier you go, the more powerful he gets, but the more risk you run.
correct.
With Mitchell, it's good, consistent UniVersus, and like you said, it's the kind of power level you want for a champ card. It's going to top, it's going to see play, but it's still going to kind of struggle to dominate.
Correct. Like I don't think neither of them have won anything, right? Like they haven't won anything. I know they didn't win Denver. They were 50%.
Came close.
They were 50% of the top cut in Denver.
Yeah.
But and they've come close. They've come close multiple times. But like it, there's that inherent. Sometimes, hey man, sometimes things are just better. Like Nick struggles into Rodon, and Mitch kind of does if he can get set up right. Like if Rodon can just because Mitch only puts 1 speed on things and that's where I think the order version's better, but that's for another day. But yeah, I just
it makes a lot of sense.
just go win your champ card and go make it the coolest thing ever. That's all we're trying to say, guys. Yeah.
Exactly. My tech against the Rodan matchup is Levi's Rampage.
Oh.
I played it on Tuesday. I was playing against my friend Lone from Scotland, who was playing Wolfwood.
Yeah.
I had 4 momentum, and I just went Levi's Rampage. And I went Echo, 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 Echo.
Nice.
Like, can you stop? I was like, no.
I'm rampaging.
I'm only checking 5. Let's go.
That's awesome. All right. So as we wrap up, where can people find you and any shout-outs?
So you can generally find me pretty much always talking and shouting on the Discord for any number of reasons. But primarily, you can catch me most Sundays for the UKVersus podcast with UVS Hermit and an assortment of guests. Occasionally, a nice young man will join us.
Hell yeah!
And and you can check me out on YouTube on the UKVersus, where I post crazy theories, news, previews, anything to do with IPs within the game, coming to the game, and of course, I'm now covering, as we sort of talked about, Riftbound content.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of shout out, big shout out to Patriot Games and Sean Johnson, the best TO in Europe. Kept this game alive for many, many years and has been a massive support of the community.
Mm-hmm.
Big shout out to Rochester CCG and everything they're doing for retro and for NA communities. A big shout out to all the players that are be out there spreading positivity, making this a safe, welcoming place for any new player from any IP to come in and ask any kind of questions. Keep up the good work. And last shout out would probably go to UVS Games. I know we give you a lot of flack, but we also do respect that you are doing what you think is best to make this the best card game in the world. And we as a community are just trying to do the exact same thing.
Correct. Hell yeah, I agree with all those sentiments, all of them. All right, so this is a wrap on episode 4 of Take 10. So someone's taken 40 already. So we've killed Goro. So that's pretty cool. I appreciate you, Brett, for coming on and hanging out with me for an hour, and I'm glad we could work it out because I know when I stream on Mondays, you're asleep. So and that's I know like I think it's like I may have to do more pre-recorded ones just because of people can't make the stream time, so that's kind of cool. Plus, it's my wife's birthday on Monday, so we're gonna be going out for dinner. So I'm glad I have a pre-recorded episode.
Quite well.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I may get pasta because we're going to an Italian restaurant. I'm super excited. So
that works out quite well. So yeah, I unfortunately had to miss the Chelmsford regionals because I'm going to Albuquerque. So also you can catch me at Albuquerque.
Hell yeah, he's going to that summit. That's right. He's 2 for 2 on summits, 3 for 3 on worlds. This man's unstoppable. You can't stop him.
But I also get to take part in the Albuquerque regionals.
That's cool.
So
that's super sick.
You'll see people there as well.
Hell yeah, that's great. You're gonna go kick some ass and take some names. That's what we're talking about.
Nah, I'm gonna be doing side events and walking away with all the hex uncut sheets and then just giving them people in the UK.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, we see what it is. You're gonna hoard them all for the UK now.
Yeah, I'm gonna ruin the economy.
It's already ruined. You can't ruin it anymore. But we're not gonna go into that. We're gonna end the episode on that one. So everyone have a good night. We'll see you on the next episode of Take 10.
Bye.